Good evening, football fans. It's the Iilfl Soccer Night Show, brought to you again on a Monday night by myself, David Joseph. I've got a full panel of guests with me tonight to talk about the football played yesterday that the weather did its best to spoil. Yes, it was the Unity Cup tournament, Super Cup and Legends Cup. Younger, older players all turning up for a feast of football. Like I said, it was a difficult day yesterday. There's loads for us to talk about. We've got Vets football from last Thursday as well to discuss as well. But right now, let's get into it. We've got highlights of lots of the games that happened yesterday, a mixture of football for you from the Unity Cup tournament played at Hackney Marshes yesterday. Here it is. Listen, footy fans, there was lots that went on yesterday. Too much for us to show there yesterday. If you were there, you knew what happened. It was all about playing football on the floor, and the teams that could do that are the teams that survived just, and maybe one or two teams went out and probably shouldn't have done. I'm going to show you some results from yesterday, starting with the first round of the Super Cup. Here they are for you. Tower Hamlets got themselves an away win against Abahani. SCTA team doing very, very well. Like I said, carrying on from their cup exploits and putting 7 goals past RS, 7-2. Bengals beat MK Galacticos 2-0. Maybe another team that went out, surprise, surprise there. Beaumont went down 4-1 to a very impressive Hamlets team. Tigers went through in a very good and close game by beating Bromley 1-0. Reach Out and Leytonstone. Good game. Went to a draw 2-2, and then Leytonstone won it by the odd penalty. 10 goals to none. Reach Out will be gutted. E7, welcome back E7. They come back to beat Sire by 2-0. And Ace as well, who have come over, beat a good West End side by 3-2. So before we talk about the next round of fixtures that then happened, let me turn to the boys on the left. Shaquille and Rashid, and let's just talk about the tournament itself and how everybody came together to try and play football in what was really testing conditions.
Yeah, only thing I can say was missing was the bloody snow.
Yes.
The rain, the wind, I don't know how they played the first round. It was one of the worst weather you can have, but still, credit to the teams. They went on and did their best to ability. I think for me, the tie we looked at was the Bengal versus Galacticos, and that was very tasty, and I think Bengal showed the quality. I think for me, they're one of the favourite teams. There were other big teams, obviously, we'll discuss further, but for me, the tie was Bengal versus MK Galacticos, and I think Bengal showed the quality that they mean business in this tournament.
Shaquille, you spent a lot of time moving around a lot of the games. Who caught your eye yesterday?
There was quite a few. Hamlets, it was quite a good team. They were unlucky to lose 2-1 against FC Bengal. E7 looked quite impressive. And Ace looked really good as well. So it was quite refreshing to see a few teams that we haven't seen before to come and play together. It was good.
It was indeed. We had 1 or 2 teams go out, maybe by surprise, but because there were teams turning up that nobody knew anything about, maybe it wasn't a surprise at all. The teams that went through to the quarterfinals, 8 teams went up against each other head to head, and here's the results from those fixtures as well. Bengals then went up against Hamlets and beat them by 2-1, so they're in next week's semi-final. E5, impressive and emphatic, beating Leytonstone by 5-1. SCTA and London Tigers, again, SCTA can count themselves unlucky. They really are a top side. It was a really good game, but they went out on penalties to London Tigers, who are looking good, and I have to say the sign of a good team is to win ugly sometimes, and that's what they had to do twice, really. Tower Hamlets beat Ace by 6-2, and they are the 4 teams in the semi-final. Bengals, E7, London Tigers and Tower Hamlets. So, Hasnat, I think we've got a good quartet there.
We have. It's going to be a really tough call, really. I'm going to leave probably my friend here on the left to talk about London Tigers, but E7 again. That was a team sort of unexpected. I mean, the big boys that we probably expected aren't there. I mean, Galacticos. That's an absolute shocker for them to go out the first round. So we've got a good couple of ties there coming up this Sunday.
And Rash, just before I turn to Nurul on my right, no Reach Out, no Beaumont, no West End.
We said that before last week. There are some massive teams, so obviously not all can go through. So it just showed on the day it's about who wanted the hunger, the desire, and then obviously the passion came in, and obviously those teams were successful on the day.
Nurul Hock is in the studio this evening. Good evening, Nurul. Well done to London Tigers again. I mean, if we just talk about your team that was in the Super Cup, I mean, we'll talk more about the vets in the next section of the show, but couple of good games for them, wasn't it? They're the games that London Tigers like to be in.
Oh, absolutely. We absolutely die for these type of games. Really high, competitive. Both teams tried to play, especially the first one, the Bromley game, and me and Tarek came off the pitch after and said, none of us deserved to lose that game. It was that close. You know, we all just had the odd goal. Second half, Bromley just absolutely bombarded us. Absolutely bombarded. We couldn't even get out of the 30-yard area. The wind was so bad, it didn't matter if you just tapped it. The ball was just flying in. Yeah, it's just tapping. Even we had our striker Kai, we said, forget about attacking, we don't need another goal. we need to defend. Put him in centre half. So we had 3 centre halves rather than your regular 2 centre halves, and we didn't even try not even have any intent to get out of the half because we knew we couldn't. The ball was just going to come flying back. It doesn't matter how much we tried to play on the floor, the ball wasn't going. But anyway, Bromley would not have been a surprise if they'd beaten us on that day. Tigers are Tigers.
Tigers are Tigers.
Tigers are Tigers. The harder they come, they are like packs of wolves.
And then the lottery of the penalties against SC. I mean, another good team. You wouldn't believe that SCTA were a first division team coming up.
No. To be honest with you, Tarek underestimated them. We underestimated SCTA, thinking, hold on 1 second, they're just gone up. They're not that. We just had a hard game. If we could be this quality Bromley team, we could take them easy. But again, wow. SCT is resilient as usual.
We're going to talk more about it in the next half. I mean, like I said, you've heard the quality of the tournament was fantastic. The same was there in the Legends Cup as well, and we're going to talk about that and a lot more in the next part of the show. Stick around, we'll be back after this short break.
আপনারা দেখছেন ILFL Soccer Night।